Hi friends, welcome to another episode of Indo-Chinese Spice Box. You know, when the weather outside is cold and rainy like it is today, I love to dig into a bowl of soup. I like hearty soups, so I thought I'll share with you today my favorite recipe for soupy noodles in a coconut broth. Rice, vermicelli, broccoli and mushrooms are cooked in a flavorful coconut milk broth and served warm with fresh Thai basil. So let's dive in and see the ingredients that we require to make the soup. So I'll first go over the soup part. We need coconut milk. Now you can buy cartons like this at the store ready-made. We'll require 2 cartons of this, but if you want you could make it at home as well. Just grate some coconut, run it through the blender and add some hot water and just strain the coconut and the milk will be separate, okay? We'll need about a teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon of soy sauce, salt and pepper to taste, Szechuan paste, ginger, just minced ginger. These are sambar onions or shallots, you know, the ones that you can find in South Indian restaurants, they put it in their sambar. So just thinly slice them, and we'll need 1 cup of vegetable stock. Now let's go over the ingredients that we require for the noodles part. So here is about 1 cup of dried rice vermicelli. It's also called chevige or savia, but it's made of rice, not wheat. It has a wonderful chewy texture which is really quite unique. Now if you don't have this, you could also use just regular noodles, whole wheat noodles or whatever noodles you have at home. Even the 2-minute noodles will work. Next we'll need basil. I have about 1 cup of basil. This is what we put on top to garnish. We also use lime wedges to garnish and sesame seeds. We'll need 1 cup of purple cabbage that has been finely chopped, 1 cup of mushrooms that has been sliced, 1 cup of carrots that have been grated, and we have about a cup of broccoli florets. We also have 1 onion that has been finely chopped. To begin with, we're going to cook our noodles. Now the beauty about these noodles is they're really thin and you don't need to boil them. What you need to take is about some boiling water, but before you do that you need to salt this. Make sure you put a good teaspoon of salt and then take nice hot boiling water. Add this to the noodles. Just make sure it covers the noodles. And now you need to let this steep for about 15 to 20 minutes and then it will have cooked. We'll start by making the soup base. So heat a saucepan, add a little bit of oil, just about a teaspoon or 2. You don't need too much. Next go in the shallots or the sambar onions, ginger garlic paste. Now you could add how much you like. And now just mix all this in. Now the reason why we're using these sambar onions is because they have a wonderful mild sweet flavor which regular onions don't have. It gives the coconut milk a really unique flavor when you have it as a soup. So we just need to make it translucent. You don't need to cook these, they should be a little crisp. Now we're going to add the Szechuan paste. A little bit of the soy sauce. Some salt, pepper and sugar. Now you need to add sugar because you want to balance out all the flavors. They're sweet and sour and spicy. You really won't taste the sugar as much, but it will have this very unique flavor. Now I add the stock. This is vegetable stock. Now you can make this at home by boiling any combination of vegetables and then straining it, or you could buy stock cubes ready-made at the store and just dilute it in some hot water. Now we're going to let this mix and then we're going to add our coconut milk. Now remember, after you add your coconut milk, you should not let it boil, come to a high boil. It should just be a slow simmer, otherwise the coconut milk will separate and curdle. So just mix it in lightly. Oh, it smells so wonderful already. And when you add the basil to coconut milk, it's just heavenly. So now we're just going to let this cook for a minute or 2. Now it's all up to you how thin you want your soup. If you want it really brothy, then go ahead and add 1 cup of water or stock. And if you want it a little on the thick side, then just leave it as is. So I've moved my saucepan over and I'm letting it simmer on a low flame while I go ahead and cook the vegetables. So just keep stirring every once in a while. Then heat your kadhai or your wok. Add a little bit of oil. We'll need about 2 to 3 teaspoons. Next, go in the ginger. Let this cook just for a minute. Add the onions. Now remember, you want the vegetables to be crisp, not fully cooked. So they're all going to be a little crunchy, and when we add the hot soup broth to the vegetables, it'll cook it some more. So just let it cook for a minute till they turn translucent. So the onions have turned translucent. As you can see, it's got a slight pinkish color. At this point, we're going to add our carrots. Give it a good stir. Now today I've used a very fine grate, but you could choose how you want it, and if you want bigger pieces, you could always cut them, chop them in diagonals. They would work too. Just look at the beautiful orange color. Just keep stirring your sauce and make sure that it doesn't boil. Next, go in our mushrooms. And just for a minute. Next, go in our broccoli. And that's it. We're going to stir it for another minute just to soften everything up. Add a little bit of salt. Remember, the soup also has salt, so don't add too much. Pepper. Give it all a good stir. Just look at the beautiful colors in this soup. And now we're going to add a little bit of the cabbage. Just look at this beautiful purple cabbage. I'm going to save a few for garnish. Now just stir fry this on a really high flame for just a minute. You just want to wilt the vegetables, not cook them. As you can see, our vegetables have now wilted down. At this point, we're going to add a little bit of the noodles. Turn off the flame. And just mix everything in. Now you can add how much ever noodles you like. I like mine with more vegetables and less noodles. And this is perfect if you are on a gluten-free diet because there's no wheat in this recipe. So this is perfect. And now I'm just going to let this cool down for a minute. Now we're ready to plate our soup. So what you need to do is take these vegetables, put it at the bottom of the bowl. Now how I do this is I serve individual bowls for the children and for myself, and then all I do is just add the soupy broth right on top and let my children decide what all they like on their soup. So go a few cabbage. This is absolutely essential. You need to have basil. That's how this dish is going to taste really wonderful and fragrant. And some sesame seeds. And then just a squirt of lime. Our noodles and vegetable in a soupy coconut broth is now ready. As you can see, it looks so beautiful. Your family and friends are going to love it. And if you serve this at a dinner party, your friends will think that you spent a lot of time in the kitchen. But you know the secret, it hardly took us any time at all. So how do you serve this? I always serve it with a nice Szechuan sauce or red chili sauce, extra lime wedges if somebody likes it a little more sour, a good helping of vinegar and green chilies if they want to make it more spicy, and a little bit of soy sauce or oyster sauce, which gives a nice intense deep flavor if somebody would like to add them. So everybody chooses how they want to dress up their soup, and I promise you this is delicious.